Leaphorn nabbed Colton in the 6th episode of Dark Winds and tried to get him to spill the beans about his boss. Colton, though, bolted while being handed up to the feds, showing quick moves in dodging trouble. In this last episode, we saw Gordo send a rush to the hospital after getting super dangerous injuries during the fight. Dark Winds Season 2's big moment spills the beans about who messed up the Drumco oil, something viewers should have figured out cause of the show's clear trick. The season finale was not just about solving a crime, but also about what justice meant for the Navajo people. Their way of doing things was different than the usual justice, especially since the colonizers didn't really care about Native Americans. Colton Wolfe, Nicholas Logan, shows up at Vines' place just as the season finale of Dark Winds kicks off. Shotgun ready, BJ, John Deal, faces him. BJ lets Colton in and gives him some water once he knows who he is. BJ asks Colton if it's really that bad. Even though Colton has zip, he says that Leaphorn thinks he's on his team and that it's linked to the Drumco mess. Colton says for sure when BJ asks if he's certain, saying the proof is safe and sound. They'll be hunting for him in Old Mexico, BJ says, so he might as well head east. In the 6th episode of Dark Winds, Colton Wolfe was seen heading to B.J. Vines' place in the lonely town of Malpais. Turns out, Mr. Vines is the guy who hired him. Leaphorn thought Vines was the brains behind the explosion, and he fessed up when he got to Vines' door. When Vines paid him and told him to hit the road to Mexico, he thought he was good to go. As Colton was getting ready for a new life, he had a quick SEC of hope, just to lose it. Vines pulled out his gun and shot Colton as he was leaving. Colton said his mom's name, Linda, before he was gone for good. Rosemary and Emerson Charlie knew BJ Vines' lockbox had key info, so they went to find it. Joe told his dad he cracked the case and it all clicked. When Henry asked Joe why he thought BJ would off Emerson and Tomas, Joe said Dylan Charlie being pals with Vines set it off. After Dylan's death, BJ took over Dylan's group, the People of Darkness. The report in the lockbox shows Dylan's deals at the Drumco site. Emerson wanted to get the box and give it to the cops after finding out he had a deadly sickness, cause he didn't want to die with a bad rep. After that, Vines got Colton to take out Emerson. Joe asked his dad to check the site and see if any boom stuff was used. Henry told Joe the boom that offed Emerson was the same they found. Colton stuck with the plan cause his bomb worked well. Meanwhile, Jim Chi started snooping in the box. He started guessing what could be in the box that got everyone hooked. He found some burnt papers and a tape. He found some pics that showed Tomas and Rosemary had a thing. Jim gave the pics to Leaphorn and Bernie, and they figured Rosemary just wanted to ditch the proof of her fling. The papers in the box were toast, showing that a paper Leaphorn said he had was fake. The real info was about uranium at the Drumco site. BJ was finally outed as the guy behind the mess that killed 6 guys, including Leaphorn's kid. Leaphorn didn't waste time getting to Vines and busted him. He felt like justice was served. But Henry said Vines needed a different kind of justice, one that wouldn't let him off easy, to get what's coming. At first, Leaphorn didn't think much cause he's a good guy who plays by the rules. But then the worst happened. Sally's baby laughed for the first time that night as Leaphorn hung out with the fam. Emma wanted a party cause it made everyone happy. Joe was already watching the news. Turns out, BJ got out of jail cause there was no solid proof. Leaphorn was bummed cause it made him think about how unfair the law can be. Leaphorn decided to handle it himself. Leaphorn took Vines to a cold, lonely place near the site. He told him about the heartbreaking stuff Vines caused with his power-hungry ways. He hoped Vines would get how much hurt he caused. He left Vines in the cold and went home. He didn't kill Vines cause if he went the rough way, he'd be just as bad. The show didn't say if Vines made it, but he looked like he was freezing. Meanwhile, Emma let Mary Landon's article about messed up surgery on Native American women get published. She was shocked by the idea of wiping out a whole group. Feeling she had more to lose by staying quiet, she joined a protest. Sally's baby's first laugh was party time, and that's when Gordo showed up. Leaphorn's tough talk with Gordo found out that Gordo knew Leaphorn had a part in BEJ disappearing. Gordo said Leaphorn could be in trouble. No proof was shown to blame Leaphorn. Byrne told him she was gonna be a border patrol agent. Leaphorn was stoked for her cause. He couldn't stop her dreams. Also, there was Jim Chi. He'd been on the case from the start, talking to Rosemary about why she hired the lockbox. Rosemary thought her breathing was fine, but it wasn't. Jim ignored her date idea. At the end of episode 6, Sally, who was liked by the Leaphorns, took her kid and left a note for Joe and Emma. We can guess why, but most think she wanted to raise her kid alone. Emma and Joe probably were cool with it cause they respect a woman's choice. Episode 6 ended with Byrne and Chi saying bye before Byrne became a border patrol agent. After smooching and saying I love you, they went their separate ways.